as a liberal, I believe the world is getting safer, and it feels like conservatives are telling me it is not.
Because it's just not. It's not. Do you realize that within, I think, a span of 11 and 12, all the way up to 17, 18, that are on different sides of the spectrum, as you would say. One's with one gang, one's with the other gang. Now you got all these people that's in the middle. No, it's not getting better. Now you just sat there.
Who is in that
and
kind of
brought-
violence that's making more than $50,000 a year?
Well, see, that's the problem. It used to be kept just in those neighborhoods, but it's not. It's starting to spill out. Now this is why you have outrage. Because you got people that actually make 150, 180, 250,000, $500,000 a year. That shit's spilling over in their neighborhood. Oh, we got a problem now. See what I'm saying? This violence has always been here.
It's always been here, but I don't think it's
the difference
better
is
than it used to be.
The difference is now everybody's a journalist.
Right. And I think some of that is causing truth to be told. So when Ahmaud Arbery was running through that neighborhood, nothing was ever stolen. Things were misplaced. But now we've got cameras that'll tell us when something was actually stolen. But the perception that something was stolen led people to ramp themselves up.
The perception of you don't belong in this neighborhood.
Right.
Not just that something was stolen. Why are you here?
Right.
Yeah.
Now that could have been anybody, but it just so happened that it was a young black man.
It's easier to identify. Yeah. We know he's not.
So that situation happened. Unfortunately.
But the neighborhood wasn't any more dangerous. In fact, it was safer than it had been in the past.
It was, but see, what y'all not looking at is that people are now looking at things at the spillover. Yeah. People are starting to look at the spillover.
But instead of looking out the window.
This is what you're getting with the spillover. Period. This is what
How do we get people to look out the window instead of at the spillover? If they go out and speak to your neighbor, you realize your neighbor's
that's the other side of the coin. The vast majority, back in the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s even, you had the neighbors knew each other. They knew each other's children. They would babysit for each other. Yeah. You could go ask your neighbor for a cup of sugar or whatever, shoot the shit, have fence talk.
Difference
you know what I mean?
We weren't allowed in those neighborhoods.
Who was?
We weren't.
Brother, that was I mean
that 56.
That happened even up to the 80s. It wasn't until the mid 90s where shit just fell off the log. Like everything went just crazy because that's when you started having these random shootings. Like you don't even know this person, but you why are they shooting people they're doing it because they want to know that the leaders of these gangs or groups want to know that you're willing to put in work if you need to. So if we call on you to put in work and we know that you had that killer instinct, you'll shoot that lady that's pushing groceries home to her 2 kids with her with her mother waiting on her to come in the house with the groceries so the kids can help put them up.
What good does it for a leader to know you would randomly kill somebody? Because
that's all they want.
What's going to prevent you from randomly killing me?
That's all
I don't ever want a soldier
Nobody's looking at that, though. Nobody's looking at that. You're thinking along the lines
of
a rational mindset.
Right.
You're not looking at actually what the street is.
I don't believe people in the street think any different than I do. They have
no, brother. Yeah, they do.
Options.
No, sir. They think differently than you. I'm living proof that tells you they think differently than you.
Then how come you don't have?
If that's the case, I've never put myself out there. I've never put myself out there like that. Like that I'm there to cause havoc. You got people that will purposefully bump into you and then look at you like you're the problem.
Right.
Like you did it.
But I don't think that's unique to any neighborhood. I think there are folks in the country that'll drink moonshine and bump into you.
That's a rarity. That's a rarity.
It's the same.
That's a rarity.
People
No,
are
that's
the
a
same
rarity.
everywhere.
They're not.
They're
not.
That is the difference.
The difference between these cats that's out here in the city, bro, they don't give a fuck about anything. They don't even care about themselves. So I'm telling you right now, the mindset that you have, you wouldn't be able to talk your way out of a bullet.
Well, I mean, whereas I agree with that.
I'm just being 100% real, bro. They don't. Nobody thinks like that that's in the street. Nobody. When I was younger, I didn't think like that when I was in the street. What I thought was that there are people, they actually play with your mind. You know what I'm saying? Between the politicians that you see that are perpetuating, that are sitting there saying they're perpetuating this lie that we're going to fix it. They don't fix it. They make it worse. And they allow things to get worse. So now I don't have any means to get a job. So I got to take so that I can make what I want to make so that I can be like these rappers on TV. That's what you're missing. It's a conglomerate of it's a conglomerate of all things that hinge on what makes the situation bad. You got a single mother that's doing what she can, you know what I'm saying, that don't have that money. You got kids that are one of the ways to fix all of this is I would put every school across this country, all the kids, I don't give a fuck, all kids would be wearing uniforms all the way down to the footwear, because now you're taking out the book. The bully's still gonna be there, but you're taking out a lot of ammunition for the bully to deal with, or for kids to make fun of. Everybody gets a clear book bag. Everybody, I don't give a damn. Every kid across this country gets a clear book bag. You want privacy? Wait until you're an adult. As far as a child, you don't have privacy as a child. I remember I used to shut my door when I wanted to talk on the phone and shit, when I had a phone from my mom's room all the way into my room and shit, and I shut the door and my mom would come kick me. What are you doing? Well, I just wanted a little privacy. You don't have no privacy in this house, boy. This is my house. I pay the bill. You understand what I'm saying? So you don't have that luxury. And I think what people forget to do is to teach about what's actually going on in the world. Because when a lot of these children get faced with what's really going on in the world, because they're not in that gilded cage anymore, they're able to venture out, it's a shell shock. And if you take away all of these items, all of the joy where you got Jordans and I got Payless, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. You take away if you take away items from a fire to be able to grow, you just got wood and kindling, but you have no accelerant. So if you do that, and then if you put together a situation where you've got metal detectors in every school, it's a wrap, dude.
Man.
It's a wrap.
Well, I can tell now, this is where both of y'all differ.
It's a wrap.
I think both of you all think the fuel is something different.
Yes.
Like you think the fuel is probably the weapons.
No, I think the fuel is the jobs.
The jobs, okay.
Yeah. So I think if anybody works 40 hours a week and they make $40,000 a year, they won't have violence. We'll diminish it greatly.
I don't agree with you. And I'm going to tell you why I don't agree with you.
I'm trying to get us back to the game.
I'm trying to get us focused back on
hip hop is what will always kill that. But that's another tentacle. But we'll deal with that. Another tentacle. We'll deal with that.
Get back to the guns.
All right. And this is where we're going to stay for the rest of it.
All right.
Any questions that you want to talk about?
Strictly weapons.
Revolving firearms. Give it to me. I'll give you
I'm going to tell you this. I need this, Turner. I need to talk about the guns.
All right.
So, to have a stark contrast, right?
Okay.
We're going to go straight to the IWI Jericho, a.k.a. the Baby Eagle.
Okay.
All right?
Baby Eagle is in like Baby Desert Eagle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh. And there's several iterations of the Desert Eagle. So there's a 9mm version, there's a 44 version, and then there's the 50 AE version. All right.
So the one that's always in chrome in the movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
50 AE. That's 50 Action Express. That's a very big ramp. And also, a caveat to that. What were muzzle loaders back in the Founders Day? What caliber were they shooting? Don't know, do you?
I
No.
don't know.
They were 50 caliber ball bearings.
Huh.
So that okay.
It
So
would make sense.
So that's why you
It
had
wouldn't be a 22.
you had individuals
no,
that,
it'd be tough to make.
that were getting hit in certain places, and it was completely shattering or breaking the bone.
Yeah.
Or
Because they're
dislodging.
shooting mini cannonballs.
Exactly right. So, just thought I'd throw that in there. Now,
At some
again,
point, somebody was like, "Look at that cannon. What if we made a small one that you could hold in your hands?"
And also, another caveat is, yeah, we could back in the day own cannons privately. Anyway, so this is a double action, single action. That is a single action only. You put around in that chamber, you can squeeze the trigger until that sucker, and this trigger will be pretty much consistent every time. All right, as long as you're squeezing it off in the same exact space that you had your finger. All right, which should be like right in here, the ball of your finger. All right, long as you have that consistent trigger pull, it's always gonna land in the same area.
So it doesn't require any type of.
No.
Okay.
Once it requires one action.
One action.
That's the action.
Loading the.
That's the action. The magazine,
That
loading your
pulls it from the
magazine.
magazine into
It'll-
the chamber.
Exactly
It
right.
starts the process.
Exactly right.
Okay.
And then you can shoot. However, there's a caveat to that because if you have anything that impedes it, then guess what? Now, when I say impedes it, I mean if, let's say, you're in a position, you got a round in the chamber, you got 14 more rounds in the magazine, and you go to shoot, and then somehow, some way you have a malfunction. Well, now you got to stop it.
Okay.
You can pull the trigger all you want. It ain't gonna go off.
So that'd be, well, I guess, a casing.
If
you're getting caught.
Yeah, if you get a light primer strike, yeah, you pretty much now you got to sit there and you got to aim it down. Single action only. This gun is double action, so it's a double single action. So hammer's back. That's a decocker, which means I can do that with a round in the chamber. Not gonna go off. All right. Now,
Can you half cock these like on muskets?
no.
Okay.
Now, double single action means I can pull this sucker cold, meaning have a round in the chamber, but without the hammer being back, unlike a 1911. 1911, if the hammer's back, you have no way to pull the hammer back unless you manually do it. All right. Other than that, you have to carry it in a cocked and locked position, which is with your hammer back, safety on. Okay. So, this, like I said, double single action. With a double action, it's a longer pull till the break. Single action, see the difference?
Yeah.
So are you actually two trigger pulls?
Yeah.
Okay.
So your double action pull,
Half pressure.
and I'm gonna have y'all do this. All right, that's your double action pull, and your single action pull. That's the reset. Boom.
Okay. Less pressure. Has to be
You're talking about you're talking about 8 pounds versus 3.5 pounds. So your first trigger pull will be 8 pounds. Second trigger pull will be about 2.5, 3 pounds. All right. So who wants to go first with this one? You tell me what the difference is. So what's the difference right out the gate?
Weight.
There you go. Now with that having the kind of weight that it has,
I ain't gonna lie, this one feels good.
I knew it would. That's why I did what I did. So with that weight, what you have is you have good weight distribution. So
Gun person.
now what you got is all of the recoil is taken out of that firearm. Legitimately, you can fire that gun. That's what when I go to train at the range, that's the first gun I train people on. And the reason why is because of the weight. Because when you're shooting it's almost like shooting a 22 Magnum, bro. Because it has very little
This feels
recoil.
good.
It has very little recoil. Seriously. Now, I'm gonna give it to you even one more. I'm gonna do the same with you.
Please don't. I don't like this test.
Oh no. Go ahead.
What am I doing?
Same thing as you was doing. Now that's with an empty magazine in it.
Okay.
Now, if I filled up a magazine, or if I went in a safe and I got the other magazine, and that one's full, and I put it in there, you'd have a little bit more weight to even mitigate that recoil more.
So just the weight of the bullets.
High and tight. So you want the web of your hand right there in that beaver tail. Right there you go.
Okay.
High and tight is how you want to hold that. Now, I want you to, well, it's not
Yeah,
going
can
to
you take that? Can you take that mag out?
It ain't gonna work if I leave it in. All right, so now I want you to squeeze the trigger.
Do I need to check around, make sure there's no?
Go ahead.
Up against your body, pull up, push down.
So this one, because of how low the bore axis is, it doesn't have your slide serrations up here. It has it back here. But the good thing is, the other thing that you're gonna find is take this finger, bend it, curve it, right there.
Oh.
Pull back. Now,
So that's tough to be
that's
left-handed.
the other difference.
Okay.
The other difference is,
Oh, that's smooth too.
it was difficult with that one. That one's like it's riding on ball bearing.
Smooth, man.
See what I'm saying? Totally different. That's why I do, and I do that. I do that all the time because the difference from polymer and steel is completely different from steel and steel.
The Cadillac analogy.
That's exactly why I say it's like when when you first slide into a Cadillac and it's like, oh my God, how much is it? Knowing you don't have the money for it, but you just want to, how much is it?
Man.
Can we make a deal, bro? Like on something? I say you my friend. I say you're kidding. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
That's how that is. That thing is, that's my trainer. My brother is after this gun like you wouldn't believe. He wants this gun so bad. And I told him, I said, listen, bro. I said, I love you and I'm going to give you this. When I finish to my forever guns, because I'm only getting 4 guns and that's it. And on my whole arsenal, it'll be exactly where I want it to be. There's another one that I'm going to show you, but I can't show you that one on camera. We're going to have to look at that one by
All right.
But you see the difference?
Oh, man.
Now squeeze the trigger.
Okay.
Now I want you to squeeze the trigger like that.
A single action, so now he's going to double.
All right. Oh,
Okay,
I want you to pull it back, and I want you to when you hear that hammer go. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Just hold it like you will. When you hear that hammer go, don't release the trigger.
Okay.
What I want you to do is I want you to then either grab the slide or rack it back with your fingers, and then I want you to feel what the difference is.
Oh, from half.
Yeah. Go ahead. Pull the trigger. Hold it. Pull it and hold it. Pull it. Nope.
Oh, nope.
Watch. Let me show you.
Okay, yeah.
Let me show you. All right, so this is what I want you to do. I want you to pull the trigger, hold it,
Pull it back.
rack it,
Fully.
and I want you to feel the reset. Where the reset is on the trigger. Then pull it again. All right. That's what I want you to do.
Nope.
Let the trigger, quick, pull it all the way back. There you go. Hold it.
Oh, sorry. Let me do it again. Oh, wow.
See the difference?
Yes. Wow.
That's all. Now, one thing I didn't show you, and I apologize. That's my
How to
fault.
pass the weapon?
You always want
Check
to do
Show
one.
before
Oh,
you.
when you pass. Okay.
All right.
Get
So
your
what am I
booger hook.
doing?
There you go.
Now, what did you just call it? Booger hook.
Yeah, I'm telling him to get his booger hook out of that daggone trigger.
Yeah.
Because it's short enough slid in there. Now, do you
And
feel the difference?
I'm going to go the other way.
Do you feel the difference
Yes.
between that one and that one?
Yeah.
It feels good.
It does.
Yeah, it feels good.
That's what I mean when I say fitment. I could put that gun in anybody's hand, even a female 110 pounds. I could put it in anybody's hand and they'll be like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just feels right. Now you understand what Israeli engineering is about. They don't play no games. So
right.
now I want you to squeeze the trigger all the way back and hold it. Hold it. Now rack the slide while you're holding it.
From here.
No. You ain't got to do all that.
You gotta do all that, baby.
Yeah, slide. Yeah. Like
Now slowly release the trigger. That's the reset.
It's like working with a clutch. Oh, it didn't even start. Okay.
That's the reset.
Okay.
That's how quick the reset is. Now squeeze the trigger again. See the difference?
Yeah, that's fast.
Now,
Oh man.
I want you to take your finger like this,
Uh-huh.
and I want you to just rack the slide.
That's very different.
Totally different, right?
Totally different. All right.
Now that is what I call the movie gun.
Okay, I can
Because
see that.
everything you see that comes from guns in the movies, that literally will do it.
Okay.
Because it's so easy to manipulate. And when you're putting rounds on target, man, it's so smooth. And the recoil is so minimal because it's steel on steel.
It's a different feel. I
It's
gotta
a
give you
completely
that.
different feel.
All right. How do I discharge?
You see this black ledge right here?
Right here?
Push it down.
Which way is down?
Down.
Towards the gun?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Now,
That's
doing
your
that,
decock.
if there was a round in the
Chamber.
chamber,
It will not go off.
it won't discharge.
It's called a decocker. It will not go off.
Okay.
All right, so now we got that one out the way. Now, this is the other trainer that I have, and this is called the Taurus G2C. All right, this has a manual safety on it. Again, for people that, because there are people that just will not carry a gun unless it has a manual safety. Me, myself, personally, this is my safety. As long as I don't put this on the trigger, it ain't gonna go off.
I would. I need more than just my finger.
Now for the and that's fine. I take nothing from that. It all is in how you want to feel or how safe you feel manipulating a firearm.
Right.
Period. So if that's what you felt, there are thousands of firearms that are created that actually have manual safeties, and they're all out there. For if it was me, and we were going out for your first gun, I'd probably take you out to look at a 1911, because at first it's going to be like that's your nightstand, right? You know what I'm trying with. We go out, and I think for you, what would feel right for you would be to get a 9mm 1911 because of the weight recoil distribution. It would be perfect. All right. Now, the difference in smaller versus larger, smaller versus larger. Even with the polymer, if we went out and we shot this polymer H&K, and then we went and shot this polymer G2C from Taurus, I'll be like, holy crap, that's completely different. Longer the slide, better recoil management you can have. Shorter the slide, well, more recoil. So you're going to have to do more recoil management. This little sucker, man, I didn't even want to shoot this damn thing. My wife was sick. We were supposed to go to the range. My wife was sick. This was her gun. What else I said was? We were supposed to be going to the range, and I was going. She was like, well, babe, you go. I'll just stay home. Just do me one favor. I was like, what is it? She said, please take my peanut butter out and, tell me what it's like. And I'm like, oh, shoot, this piece of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? There are gun snobs in the world, period. I will tell you that right off rip. But
you dabble in that gun snobbery range?
I do dabble in the gun snobbery.
So not a snob, but I'll dabble.
But I will tell you, after shooting this, I was humbled.
Okay.
I was humbled, and I had to come back to my wife. Any man that's married or has a girlfriend, the one thing that we hate to do, we'll do it, but we don't want to do it, and we can't stand doing it. It's going to fucking apologize and saying you was right. I hate that. I do it every time because I'm an upstanding man, especially with my wife. You know what I'm saying, babe? You was right.
So now, at this point, your wife had actually shot this weapon.
Yes.
And it was like trying to convince.
No. At this point, she hadn't yet.
Okay.
So she was asking because she values my opinion with firearms.
Okay.
Like my brother, I could be in West Palm Beach and my brother could be looking at a firearm and legitimately he will call me before purchasing that firearm because that's how much he values my opinion on firearm. He knows I don't choose anything that's not valid and that's going to have malfunctions. I'm never going to choose anything that's a POS that has malfunctions because if it does have malfunctions like that, the one thing I never want anybody that I'm training to do is to pick a gun And when they have to use it, it goes click instead of bang. So I like to, I don't, so I have a budget round, and then I have a mid-range round. Because the high-end round is I wouldn't pay for it even if I had the money. I'm not paying $5,000 for a handgun. I'm just not going to do it. Like, that's a car. I can't, if I can't make an argument for it, if I can't explain its validity, it ain't for me. And I'm not going to choose something that's 5,000, that's between 5 and 10,000, that's like one of these, and say, but baby, I don't have a but baby. I don't have a valid argument to actually validate why I need that firearm. It's just ridiculous. Now, those firearms are handcrafted. I want you to understand. We're not talking about MIM parts, which are high manufactured parts. We're talking about handcrafted parts, just like a Swiss watch. This is what we're talking about when we edge over into that realm of firearm. I just can't justify spending a car for a gun. For me,
I'm with you on that.
it's just not. I can't do it.
Now, but have you ever been to the range and seen somebody pull up and like, oh, come on now. Like, this guy just trying to show off. He just
A long time ago, yes. It was like, really, man? Did you really?
Still got the
And then the bad part about it is you bring it and don't know how to shoot it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, come on, bro. That's
you
why
got even the cock to the side.
they love me in Safe Side, because of the simple fact that, like, when I roll in, their guys don't have to do a thing. Like, I can't tell you how many times they tried to get me in there to work. And you just don't make, you would not allow me to make the money that I needed to run my life if I worked here, so sorry. But that's your double action, single action, single action, single action, single action, double action, single action. All right, so that's where we're going to stay at for these handguns right here. That's the last handgun. Manual safety.
Okay.
All right. So when the safety is on, you won't see the red.
Okay.
All right. So you can pull. Here's your second safety, which is, you see this little piece in the center of the trigger?
Yes.
That's your second safety.
Okay.
All right. So there you have it. Gun can't go bang. Firing pin is still stuck to the rear. Right.
So is this the standard with most weapons?
Yeah.
Red, you did?
Yes. Absolutely.
All right.
Sweep that sucker off.
Okay.
There you go. There's your reset. There you go.
Let me get some of that on camera, if you don't mind. So the second safety, let me see if we can see the second safety here under the trigger.
There's your second
And
safety.
red, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Safety switches up. It's
Safety
covered.
switches up and it's
Uh-huh.
covered. That means that your safety is on.
All right.
All right. So, yeah. How can I get this?
We already got it. We got that part.
With the safety on,
Mhm.
can't pull the trigger. Safety off, you can't pull the trigger. All right. So, you want me to hand it to you safety on or safety off?
Safety on. Well, I mean, you showed me that there's nothing in the chamber.
But what do we want to always do?
Assume it's loaded.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I'm going to make you safety on.
Okay.
All right. Now, here's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna wrap the slide, but I want you to understand what it feels like when it has a mag in it.
Okay. Feels a little different.
Yeah, it would feel awkward if it didn't have
Yeah.
that magazine in it. All right.
Okay.
But now, what we're gonna do, because we didn't wrap the slide, and again.
Okay.
There you go again.
I mean, you showed me the Cadillac now.
And that's normally what I get.
You done up so
It's like,
I can't go back.
why do I have to shoot that? I want to go back to shooting
Yeah.
that. Well, if I leave you to shoot that, and we go to get something like that, you're not going to carry it, and I'm going to tell you why. The weight is going to completely, you might carry it one day. Now me, I don't mind. I carried that joint for like 6 months straight.
No, you mean weight on your hip?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I carried that joint like 6 months straight, and the weight didn't bother me at all. And it's just some people can do it, and other people it's like, yo, this shit is annoying as hell. You know what I mean? It just is. Now squeeze the trigger on that one.
With the safety on.
You can put the safety on so that you can see what it won't do.
Okay.
It completely kills the trigger. Now you have other firearms that have manual safeties where you can pull the trigger all the way back, and it just won't
engage.
It won't engage the firing pin, or it won't engage the hammer, so it will release the projectile.
Okay.
Try to pull the slide back.
With safety on.
Mm-hmm. With safety on.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Okay.
So for individuals to say that, you know, guns are inherently dangerous, there's nothing out here, you know, that you can show a person that would be safe for a person, that's not true. Because we have thousands upon guns that are just like that, where it's got double and triple and quadruple safeties built in. So now go ahead and drop the safety.
Okay.
Rack the slide. Remember, close to your chest.
Okay. Should I?
That's it. Yep, that's it.
Okay.
That'll lock the slide back.
Oh, okay.
That's the other thing. You got tighter springs on it on a smaller firearm, so it's gonna be a little different.
It's not comfortable.
I want the Cadillac.
I know. I was waiting on him to say I kind of want the Cadillac back. That's how. Just let me rock the Cadillac and we good. All right. Do the same thing for you. But first, first let me give it to you like that and feel how it feels. Now you see how weird it feels.
It does.
Now.
Now, so there's got to be a second rule for this.
Completely different.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I would not have guessed there'd be that much weight difference. But I guess it's not hollow anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not only that, it feels a little bit more comfortable in hands.
Yes.
Because of this, and that was the design purpose.
Okay.
It was specially designed like that.
Part of the clip even covers your front finger,
Exactly,
your pinky finger,
so
you got
you
more
get
of
an
a grip.
actual good purchase on the firearm.
I'll see the clip.
Sure. Magazine.
Okay.
Clips are what we use with the M1 Grand.
Oh, now what's the difference?
Well, with what?
I guess
Clips are, and I don't have any to show you. Magazine clips are just a piece of aluminum on the rear, and you slide. It's got actual grips for the feed lips for the actual casing, and you slide the rounds down into the feed lip.
Did you ever have to shoot the M16s in ROTC?
I didn't.
Okay.
And that's how you did it. Now, the M16s that you're talking about, they had stripper clips and it fed on the back of the magazine, and you
put it right into the magazine.
Pushed it right into the magazine.
Yes. Okay.
All right. You want to take a coffee break?
Yes.
Please do.
All right. I'm gonna hold the weapon. How do I put this down?
You can check the tape.
I already checked it. I got it cocked back, so it's open.
Drop the slide.
You drop the slide. Now how do I put it down?
Put it down.
Okay.
I've already proved that even if it did have a live round in it, it ain't gonna go off.
You just don't know exactly how liberal I am.
No. And what I want you to understand is Democrat, Republican, liberal, it doesn't matter. Everybody starts off the same with having no knowledge of firearms. Now what you're doing is you're educating yourself because you're absorbing the information of actual firearm ownership. That's all. It doesn't have a label on it, baby.
We didn't mess up dinner, did we?
No.
We'll see you again tomorrow too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to.
No, we're good.
All right. I appreciate this. I also didn't stop the recording. I'll give you that heads up. So I may cut this section out.
Okay. Yeah, B-roll. Everybody got to have B-roll. You want that Cadillac, man?
I do. I like that. I felt good.
That is what. So, a lot of people would say this would be your nightstand gun.
Okay, I can see that.
You know what I'm saying? This is the gun that sits on your nightstand, or this is the gun that sits in your little nightstand drawer, or they even have now mounts that you can mount on the side of your bed where it's either biometrically open or it's a little finger code, and boom, it'll pop your gun up, and bam, you can grab it and go.
That was gonna be my next question, because my biggest fear is having a 10-year-old son in my house who he could probably come in here and tell me more about these weapons.
Okay, you want to know how to fix? You want to know how we fixed it? So this goes to your point.
This is why I think he's going to say something. The reason I support the NRA for a little bit.
Here's what I'm going to say. You know the way to stop. So everybody had back in the day. Everybody had gun cabinets in their home. Mm-hmm. Had all different kind of lighting on it. It was a conversation piece when you stepped into the house. Mm-hmm. We can't do that any longer. Times have changed. People are breaking into homes. Oh. These young kids are breaking into homes, robbing people's guns specifically for nothing but carnage. Okay. What we have to do is we have to try to steer people, and it's funny because in the 80s you saw all of the work that the Reagans and the Clintons was doing as far as drugs and drugs are bad. You had the DARE program, so on and so forth. But you know what I don't ever see? I see all the rhetoric behind people, them not wanting average people to go buy guns. But I don't see anything. I see no, and I do mean absolutely nothing when it comes down to actually trying to promote safe storage, not in a negative way, but in a positive way. So what I was looking at was this. Why can't, instead of us wasting money on gun buybacks, why can't we pool this money or allocate resources to a Operation Safe Storage program, which instead of trying to mandate people have safe storage, and if something happens, if an accident happens, you're going to jail. No, let's do this. Let's do Operation Safe Storage where we can allocate resources and money to the program so that when a person goes out to buy a safe, okay, it's based off of your income, right? It's a sliding scale, so it's based off your income. And you can go ahead and fill out an application that's at the counter, and they can go ahead and call it in, fax it in, scan it in, whatever it is, and then get a call back and say, okay, well, sir, you're approved for $3,000 towards buying a safe. All right. Now the dynamic shifts. A bit.
So now you're speaking my language.
When it comes down to,
let's lay these taxes out. Let's buy these gun safes.
This is what I'm saying.
How do I convince folks in Franklin County to up their taxes so we can have these gun safes?
Well, there's no need. I mean, hell, we have a surplus right now, bro.
Not in Franklin County.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. In Franklin County, we have a surplus, bro. We have a $1 million surplus in Franklin County. Last I checked.
Based on our tax rating.
Yeah,
but that's not a real surplus.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. We're already paying enough taxes, in my humble opinion. We're already paying enough taxes, bro, in order to do something like this. Instead of us wasting money on failed programs, let's start putting it into actual programs that would work. We've already got failed programs.
It's hard to find the failed programs. What is a failed program in Franklin County?
All we got to do is just look. I mean, we had a gun buyback in Roanoke.
In Roanoke, yeah.
That brought people from Franklin County down there, and legitimately that was a money grab. And I thought it was funny because you had people that was buying bullshit guns and taking them down there and getting more money than what the gun was worth. But you know what I'm saying? It's a scam. Either way, you can scam a gun buyback any way you want. But
in Franklin County, I mean, we are a welfare county. There's enough poverty in the county when it comes to like school lunches. It's cheaper to assume every student.
Well, if we sit and if we do our due diligence and actually do what needs to be done, then we wouldn't have that problem. And when I say do what needs to be done, I mean that everywhere, across the board. If you've got people that have to have drug tests to gain employment, then there should be drug tests for you to be able to gain assistance from the people. I won't say the government, because it's the people that's paying into it for the government to hand out to those people, period.
But drug tests to buy a gun.
I've seen nothing.
But you know they tried that.
The difference is it's a right. Just like you can't tax a right. So really, when you look at it, I shouldn't have to pay a tax stamp for like that. Technically, that's an SBR. So I can legitimately, I just haven't converted it yet. I have a phone number for a homeboy that does engraving. I can get him to engrave my number. So my number would be engraved right below here. Because this is the information for the farm.
Now you got to explain what SPR is.
Yeah.
Short barrel rifle.
Okay.
Oh, SBR. Okay.
So short barrel rifle is SBR. SBS is short barrel shotgun.
What is engraving the number on it?
It engraves my tax stamp control number on it. That lets an officer know, hey, yeah, this is a legitimate SBR. I can take that brace off of it and put a stock on it right now, and I will not go to prison. That is a legitimate tax stamped SBR. My tax stamp. I got a tax stamp in the car and a tax stamp in it. All right. So if there's a brace on this gun, I have not tax stamped it yet.
All right.
If I put an actual stock on that gun, I'm going to federal prison for 25 years.
Why?
Stock. Now what is stock?
So where it hits your shoulder?
That's a stock. That's a brace.
What makes it more dangerous? Or
Nothing.
What makes it illegal?
This is the thing that trips me out about this bull crap with NFA and ATF. Nothing. There is nothing that look, they've already said years ago that you can shoulder a brace. Okay? Now, the only difference is from a brace to a stock, it's a little bit more sturdier for controlled aiming. So actually it makes it safer for the end user. You understand what I'm saying? So I had to pay $250 to get an email copy of a tax stamp that I have one in my car. I have one in the safe. And I have to carry that around. If I take that out, once I get that control number put on it and throw a stock on that joker, I got to carry the paperwork on that everywhere I go with it. Period.
Now, what would be the benefit of throwing a stock on it?
It's a more stable platform. So 2 points of contact, which if everything works out with my homeboy, if everything works out right, and he allows us to go on his range and film us at the range, his outdoor range, I'm gonna show you the difference. And I can actually show you the difference in here, but it won't be the same as when we shoot. Okay. So 2 points of contact of what you have with a handgun. All right. That's 2 points of contact. Boom. All right. 3 points of contact. Stock in your shoulder, your hand.
Okay.
Now that's a stable platform. Just like that tripod says.
Okay. Makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? Why would you not want individuals to be safer, whom are responsible, to be safer, okay? Because here's the deal. Even with suppressors, that's for your hearing. But if I was to shoot somebody with a suppressor, depending on who the DA was, and it was a legal suppressor, and it was in my house, and people broke in my house, and I used it in my house, so that I didn't blow out my wife's ears. Because I'm also show you the difference between firing a gun in a confined space and firing a gun outside. 2 different things.
Heard a man talking, didn't know what he was saying, but he kept on spilling. His words just the same. His mind seemed scrambled like a burned out candle, with half the wick missing and nothing for flame. Give me a savior that takes me away. Give me a blanket and a space for my head. When time descends like an old stage curtain on the back of my eyelid, eyelids, I'd be any place instead. Just kept rambling, talking 19 to the dozen, like a worn out needle, tripping right across that groove. He said there's a silence that's creeping in darkness, but why look for answers when there's nothing to prove? Give me a savior that takes me away. Give me a blanket and a space for my head. When time descends like an old stage curtain on the back of my eyelids, I'll be any place instead. If time were elastic, would we dare ask it to hold on to something before it melts down like ice? And if we could listen, we'd hear back the laughter, 'cause no one ever wades through the same river twice. Give me a savior who takes me away. Give me a blanket and a space for my head. When time descends like an old stage curtain on the back of my eyelids, I'll be any place instead. When time descends like an old